Hello, everybody. My name is Mike Geddes. I am excited that you're here today. I'm also known as New York Mike. And man, the person who invited you to take a look at this very short video just wanted to give you some great information on a millionaire mindset and how to take on a global mission of social entrepreneurship. You know, we usually find that there's three reasons why people come here. Number one, they want to learn how to increase their income. Number two, hey, they want to find a better way to enjoy a healthier lifestyle. And the third thing is to really become part of something bigger than themselves, having a purpose in their lives. So let's take a look at some of these issues. You know what? Are you struggling to make ends meet like most people are in the United States and around the world now? You know, education here in the United States has actually went up 147% in the last 2 decades. And that's creating huge problems for the graduates leaving college with so much debt from their education and coming out into the job market where there's no jobs anymore. You know, the price of gas is going through the roof, clothing, food prices, transportation, people's mortgages are killing them. You know what? You ever feel like and just sit back and say, you know, man, it just seems like there's so many more days left in the month and I just don't have any more money. But here's something that really, really hits my heart. And this just seems like we don't have any money to have fun anymore. You know, and that's really important, folks. You know what? So many people don't have the opportunity to take their kids away on vacations now. And you know what? Those vacations are lasting memories, not only for the adults, but for the kids too. How many times have you heard kids say, yeah, I remember going to Disney World when I was a little kid and sitting there with my parents and having so much fun, or sitting on the lake with my grandpa. You know, those were things that people look forward to, but they're not doing it anymore. The money's not there. And that's not only a problem here in the United States, it's happening all around the world. And you know, one of the reasons is where all of us are trading time for money. You know, if you look at this clock up here, that's an 8-hour day. I don't care if you work 8 to 4, 4 to 12, 12 to 8. It's at any 8-hour cycle that you're going to work. And if you look at this clock here, people get up early in the morning and they get into heavy traffic and they get on trains and they take planes and they just trying to get to their job, and they get to their job, say, at 9 o'clock. Now they're there at 9 o'clock, and you know what the first thing they're thinking about? Man, when is lunch? When can I get out of here for lunch? And then they go to lunch and they sit down, they ram some food down their mouth because they only have a half hour to 45 to an hour for lunch. And then as soon as they get back from lunch, what do? They start feeling tired, so they start thinking about 5 o'clock when they can go home. And this cycle goes on day after day, 40 hours a week, 5 days a week for 40 years. And then they want to think about the retirement. And you know what? Everything is controlled by your boss, folks. Your boss controls your vacation, controls what time you eat, what time you go to sleep, what time you get up in the morning. And you know what? Now the economy is dictating what happens in your job. And you could actually be losing your job because, you know, companies have closed down, industries have disappeared, and people are finding that they're spending more time at work and they're leaving their family behind. And that's crazy. And you know what? So many people want to save more of their money that they're earning. But you know what? I want to take you back to when you were 16 to 24 years old. You know what? Right now, it's the highest unemployment rate in the 60 years that they've been keeping data on it here in the United States. It's at 18.4%. What's even more devastating is that it's causing a problem all around the world for people in this age bracket. And you know another challenge that's happening is that so many people were saving money in what we call 401s. And, you know, people say, oh, I'm going to have all this money when I retire. But now they're tapping into it like never before. It's at an all-time high. And 45% of the people took a hardship loan last year. It's going to tap into another one this year. That's going to cause devastation when people get to the retirement age and they don't have all that money they expected to retire. They're going to have to work longer. See, what I want you to do is I want to take you back to when you were 16 to 24. And if you're 16 to 24 and you're listening to this, you probably are always talking about the new cars, and you're talking about getting your house and traveling around the world and getting rid of your education loans. And if you're older, I want you to go back and think of those times and think about what happened and how you thought you were going to retire when you were 65, and now it's 67 and people are working into their 70s. You know why? Because we went into the 40-year plan. What's the 40-year plan? You go to school, you get a good education, you come out of school, you go to work for 40 hours a week, you work for 40 years, and you retire with 40% less of what you couldn't live on at 100%. And you know what? That model worked good for my father's generation, but you know what? It doesn't work anymore. People are losing their jobs and their careers in their 30s, 40s, and 50s like never before. Industries are disappearing. People have to reinvent themselves. They got to go back to the bottom of the ladder. And you know what, folks? Everybody started to shrink their dreams to match their incomes. Well, what we want to do is we want to invite you to learn how to increase your income so that you can have fun again in your life. We want to teach you about the millionaire mindset. You know, think about these three questions. Are you a millionaire? Do you want to be one? And how can you be one? But you got to make the decisions, because let me show you how you can be. You could save $50,000 a year after taxes for 20 years. How you doing so far? Or you can do investments where a lot of people said, well, I'll get into these 401s and these retirement savings. But you know what? The stock market has gone down, and so many people lost 40 or 50% of their savings in that scenario. And then inheritance, hey, listen, most people that inherit money blow it right away. So how likely is that you'll accumulate $1 million that you can put in the bank so that you can earn interest off of it? It's probably impossible. But let's say you did. Well, right now, if you're getting 1% in the banks, and the banks aren't hardly even giving that, that would be $10,000, and you couldn't touch the million. How are you going to live on $10,000 20 years from now? And what if they gave you 2%? That would be $20,000 a year. What's $20,000 going to be worth 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now? See, folks, you got to take care of success for yourself. And that's why more and more people are looking to become entrepreneurs. You know why? Number one, I believe, like I did when I became an entrepreneur in my 30s, is I wanted freedom. I was working 14 to 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. I had a full-time job, and I owned a couple of restaurants. And I was looking for light at the end of the tunnel because there wasn't any. I wanted freedom. And then, you know what? People were looking for job security. And you know what? They can't find job security because it's not happening. Those jobs are disappearing. So they're looking to become entrepreneurs so that they can create a second income, create more money. And you know what entrepreneurs love to do? They love to share new things. But they understood that there was a time for change, and they wanted to have a purpose in their life too. Because entrepreneurs love to have a purpose in their life. And the other thing that's exciting about being an entrepreneur is so many people, especially in management positions, are leaving their management positions and becoming entrepreneurs and starting things that they can bring out their hidden strengths, and they can create things for themselves and for their family. You see, folks, you'll never do anything. You can watch this video time and time again, but you'll never do anything until you're sick and tired of doing the same thing every day and understanding you're not going anywhere. And you look at this picture and you're on the bottom rung. You're with the rest of the people that you're constantly getting dumped on. You know, business owners right now feel they're on the bottom rung because of government regulations, taxes, the economy. Customers are not buying anymore. And folks, you got to understand that opportunity knocks. But most people are too lazy to get up off of the couch to answer the door, and that's why they're on the bottom rung. And that's why entrepreneurship is so important. And what if the solution is out there? What if the solution is you answer that knocking right now, and you could start something in your spare time where you have no boss? You're the boss. I want you to go into your bathroom or go to somewhere in your house where there's a mirror. I want you to look in the mirror and say, hello, boss, because you're going to have that opportunity if you take the steps that I'm going to suggest you do and go to the next level with us. You know, we have a global opportunity for you. Why? Because this is a global economy now, folks, and you got to be in a global opportunity, because you want to be, when some countries, their economy goes down, others go up. So you want to be in an economy that balances itself out. You also want to be in a business that you can take tax benefits. You want to be able to take advantage of all the tax benefits offered by your government to take advantage of being an entrepreneur, a business owner. And what if the solution was something that the finance world sees as the next trillion-dollar industry? You know, the previous trillion-dollar industries was the Industrial Revolution of the early 1900s, followed by the housing revolution, the automobile revolution, and the IT revolution of Microsoft, IBM, and all of that. How would have you liked to have been in right at the beginning of Microsoft? Okay, instead of now saying I would have, could have, should have. Well, listen, folks, the finance world has identified the next trillion-dollar industry as the wellness industry. And the next thing is that how would you like to be involved in something that's going to change the world? You see, our owner of our company, which has been around for 17 years, that owns some very important science, has developed a system and identified 4 keys to building a very successful entrepreneurial organization. And what he identified is that first you have to take on a global problem. Well, do you know that 5 million children are dying of malnutrition around the world? And we have a plan to address that. And how do you address it? Well, you have to have an innovative new solution. Well, we own technology and patents on science that no other company has or will have, and we have worldwide patents on this, and we collaborate with scientists all over the world on these solutions. The third thing you have to do is tap into the passion of the public, because you know what? People have to get passionate about what they do in their lives. You know that most people have gone through their lives. They said 90% of older people have said that they wish they could have done things differently and they had a purpose in their life. And that's what we're going to tap into. And then the fourth thing they said is you have to find a way to fairly compensate people. Listen, folks, we have a plan, an 18-month program to teach you how to develop a residual 6-figure income, an ongoing residual income of over $100,000 a year. And along the way, we're going to teach you how to win iPads. We have incentive trips for you. There's $30,000 in bonuses, so you can develop an income along the way while you're getting healthier and while you're helping the children of the world who are dying of malnutrition. Well, here's what I'm going to suggest you do, folks, is that first of all, you got to recognize that you're on the bottom rung of that picture. And if you feel you are, I want to tell you, you want to get back with the person who invited you. Not tomorrow, today. You see, the future is created by what you do today, not tomorrow. You see, the poor people, the unsuccessful people, the unhappy people, the complainers. Tomorrow you're going to go to work. I guarantee within the first hour you're going to hear complaints. Oh, I'm going to start a diet tomorrow. I'm going to do this tomorrow. They're going to be complaining. Listen, that word is used by those type of people. The word tomorrow is used by the unsuccessful, the poor, the unhappy, the complainers more than anybody else. Listen, folks, I'm going to suggest you get on the phone right now and call the person who invited you to take a look at this little short video and say, listen, I want to learn about those 4 keys to becoming successful, how I can earn more money, how I can help the children of the world, and how I can become healthier myself. And what we'll do is we'll sit down and we'll schedule a time that you can either come to an online webinar or sit down and have a cup of coffee with us, and we'll explain the details of how you can be involved in social entrepreneurship. So with that, I just want to say God bless, have a great night, and we're looking forward for you taking the next step and meet us on that webinar or in person. God bless.